Hafiz didn't just drop a bomb at the BET Awards, he exploded an emotional nuke. Yes, you read correctly. He did this live on stage when cameras were filming, legends were watching, and his ex-wife was sitting a few feet away. At Black Entertainment's most important event, the self-declared king of loyalty took center stage and said that he is married to Claressa Shields, the boxing ring's current champion and, reportedly, the queen of his hard eyes, and the person sitting directly behind them was none other than Remy Ma, who was dressed up and trying to keep her composure as if she had just realized she was no longer the main character. The cameras captured her smile and whisper. The crowd gasped. Remy Sis blinked, got to her feet, collected her clutch, and left as if the credits had rolled on a 15-year romance. Was this a public execution, a love story, or a case of retaliation? Sitting on a red carpet, fasten your seatbelts, because the last BET Awards were a scandal in formal attire. We have all the inside scoop, including backstage rumors and tape-sipping Twitter threads you won't want to miss. Let's be clear, this wasn't just a BET Awards, it was a trap in a tuxedo, a love triangle that went viral. A red carpet turned revenge, tours, complete with high heels, drama, and a mic drop that threw Twitter into a frenzy. Cardiac arrest, the evening was meant to be about music and celebration, but instead it became a live-recorded episode of hip-hop, divorce court, and love, complete with plot twists, public grief, and a bewildered usher, retaining Remy Ma's seat after she stormed out of it. If you're just joining us, let us introduce you to Papoose. The same Papoose who held Remy Ma down for years throughout her darkest moments and who authored lengthy dissertations on loyalty. In that same Papoose just pulled off the messiest narrative twist of the decade at the 2025 BET Awards in front of every legend, camera, and live microphone in the room. Every bar openly supported her when even Instagram demanded explanations. Said that Claressa Shields, a two-time Olympic gold medalist and unbeaten boxing champion, is his new wife. Apparently, the new Mrs. Papoose Mackie, oh my god, doesn't even begin to touch it. This wasn't just a rumor, and the Papoose apparently made a complete public declaration during a red carpet interview with BET Digital when questioned about his date, jokingly responding, "This isn't just my date. This wasn't a TMZ scene holding hands story. Excuse me, but this is my wife now." The reporter blinked twice, and Claressa chuckled and patted his chest as if they had just released a covert album. At that very moment, Remy Ma sat, just a let's go, back a few rows because, in true Fameflix fashion, we don't just report the tea, we boil it on high. Her lashes were so emotionally strained that you could almost hear them snapping. This betrayal took a long time to develop, and if you've been following the hints, you should have seen that the twist should have knocked respectfully before entering the building. Recall the whispers and rumors from the previous year, that Remy Ma and Easy the Block Captain were becoming a bit too close. Yes, the supposed affair, the dubious DM, leaking the grainy parking lot video, the freestyle that fans said featured subliminal shots. It turns out Papoose may have let it sink in. This wasn't a breakup text. He upgraded aloud, with cameras on, and Remy, in the same room, taking all that silence and side-eye to do what any hurt man with a new lineup and public platform would do. One anonymous crew member, going by the moniker Light Gregory, said that BET execs were shaken by the live microphone and televised slap-in-the-face tweet that needed to be decoded. There was no warning. He said it, and my headset fell completely quiet. I heard someone in the control booth asked, "Did he just say wife?" There was no script or strategy for that time. We were running the rundown normally. Yes, Larry. He did. And the most heinous thing was that Papoose reportedly stared straight into the camera thereafter, as if he knew that the internet would freeze, replay, zoom in, add captions, and create a meme that would last for 5 days. Marathon. And it did. Now, let's discuss the visuals, shall we? Claressa. Oh, she didn't just appear like a champion. She was dressed like Heartbreak's last boss, perfectly fitting, and shimmering like the BET lighting crew had a separate budget specifically for her. Angles, hair, diamonds, dancing, and lack of regret throughout her entire walk. Remy is also placed behind them, not just in terms of seats, but also in terms of energy. You know, she sat there with her arms crossed, her mouth hard, and she nodded slowly, as if someone were reading a diss track in her head. That's what happens when you're trying to seem unfazed, but the camera pans at the same time you blink through your entire emotional past. An audience member who identified herself as a former Remy supporter who had converted to Claressa stated, "I felt awful for Remy but also for Sispin Messi, and this was karma with a mic harsh maybe. But the internet consented, and you all know what happened next." Remy Ma stood up slowly, without shouting, paused, gave a small shake of her head, and then walked out so chilly that the camera lens fogged up. TikTok captured it on camera, looped it on Twitter, and had it examined by YouTube. According to some, she paused, perhaps considering whether to stay and gather herself or to depart and preserve whatever dignity hadn't been trampled underfoot in front of millions. She ultimately decided on the latter, And the internet, oh, it picked. In the meantime, Claressa and Papoose were shining like honeymooners at a press conference. Within hours, the hashtags #Remy walked out, #Papa POOSMer, #Eat a Ted That, and the brutal #all the way done were trending. They posed for pictures, grinned for the media, and even gave the obnoxious cheek-to-cheek lean that couples do when they know their ex is still observing. Now, they are anonymous sources by which we mean a guy with a moniker like T-Sniper 911s, asserted that this wasn't merely a relationship disclosure but rather a warning and a PR battle. One DM screenshot purportedly from a group discussion on Claressa's fan page claimed that she instructed him to go public tonight. It was time to end the chapter for good, and although he did appear to be in a dysfunctional relationship, this was a lesson in emotional checkmate. Papoose put a queen on the board, peered into his past, and declared game over. However, if you think this is the end, dear summer kid, we haven't even reached the commercial break yet. As Part 2 delves deeply into the purported bet plot, Deceit Remy bet sources are already disputing the mic'd tub hot mic moments that took place right behind the newlyweds. And there are wild thoughts on Twitter that suggest this whole situation was a pre-arranged rollout for a doories. If you thought this was petty, wait until you see what's leaking next. Well, it's one thing to reveal something shocking at a big award event, but it's quite another to blow it up in front of your ex-wife while the cameras are filming and then pretend nothing happened. Makes this entire story reach scandal level. DEFCON 1 is what transpired following that announcement because, backstage at BIT, complete mayhem was occurring as Papoose and Claressa were out there grinning for the flashbulbs like prom royalty. Since we now have exclusive bogus information from a bet production coordinator who has asked to stay nameless but goes by the codename stage Love Stacy, let's simply start with the seating chart. We cite the spot where Remy was. We had 3 other open rows, and she was placed there for camera attention and tension. It appears that there is a document named Crowd circulating in the bet production. Google Drive, high-risk areas on the chemistry map are supposed to be kept secret, but guess what Stacy did? She gave it to us in a horned smile. The chemistry map purports to show relationships between artists, such as Toxic AF and Yex Beefs, witnessing a romantic triangle. Rather, we are witnessing a broadcast-engineered breakup moment. Can you guess what was written directly next to Remy Ma and Papoose's former spouse's potential trigger, ideal cam angle? Created to maximize viral exports, bet played chess with people's suffering. And it works since we're now being bombarded with leaks from all sides. Enter soundbooth Sean, a purported bet audio technician, who says Ree's microphone was originally switched off. Sean claims that she was still attractive at the time of the announcement and that she reportedly murmured during the commercial break. So this is what loyalty looks like now that she's performing live with a microphone in front of. One tweet wrote, Remy Ma dropped the coldest disc line of 2025 and she didn't even spit a bar. Another remarked, this is giving Beyoncé saw. Oh my god, Twitter took that quote and went crazy. Tension between Jay and Rihanna in an elevator. However, it doesn't end there, since, in addition to Remy's claimed remarks, she also, allegedly, dumped her bet awards program into her handbag. So although it is unverified, Busta shared a perplexed picture of herself clutching a silver acrylic nail. So feel free to do whatever you want with that. At the same time, Ree's nail was soaring through the air. When asked how long they had been official, Papoose, with the boldness of a man who recently updated his own Wikipedia page, responded, we kept it low for a while, but tonight, as he and Claressa were in full honeymoon mode during red carpet interviews. The union, this man turned grief into a highlight reel. And Claressa's sister didn't even bat an eyelid when asked if she was concerned about Remy's, as fans online busied themselves with in-depth CSI-level analyses of the moment frame. By frame of Ree's eye, she responded with a smirk and remarked, I'm undefeated, in and out the ring. Phew, TikTok exploding. They reenacted the scene as if it were a Shakespearean monologue. And I stood, blinked, and departed because of the quiet. Twitch audio augmented whispers were heard from the front row, and there was even a 3D depiction of her. Bag slamming shut is the loudest yell at Hood Nancy Drew. Let's move on to the most outrageous phony disclosure of them. Since this is where things become really messed up, several insiders now say that this whole incident was a fabrication. Sources claim that Mona Scott Young is heavily involved in a publicity gimmick. An alleged setup, the announcement, the camera pan, and the seating arrangement that are all part of a planned DOA series that is purportedly called Remy vs. Reality, The Loyalty Files. Publicists won't comment. But Claressa just shared a photo with a hidden camera and confessions from those who were present but are legally prohibited from speaking unless paid to do so. We're talking full reunion-style therapy sessions. The promo is mayhem, but back on the ground, the Remy Ma fanbase is in full swing. Is the caption, you guys really not ready for episode 3, face blowing a kiss, a joke, or a confirmation that no one knows? Revolt. Some claim she deserves it, while others claim she is the true victim. The fanbase has split into groups. with the hashtag #TayIncClaire SA group calling this a glow-up moment, the hashtag Re-Redemption Squad demanding justice, and the hashtag PAPOOSE played because Easy Plot Captain shared that fuzzy text screenshot in 2023. That screenshot, the one that purportedly stated, "She's saying she loyal." All conspiracy theorists now believe he has been plotting this. However, I am aware of the true tale. This has also come up again since, in the online court of petty public opinion, every receipt matters, regardless of whether it is artificial intelligence, AI generated, or phony. The most bizarre development of all is that the Bet's camera crew has begun releasing behind-the-scenes stills from the event. One picture, which has the internet in a frenzy, features Remy Ma standing in the corridor as she leaves, wiping her cheek, with a tissue behind her and a red exit sign behind her. The caption read, "Captured, not staged." But really, everything now appears staged. So you can't just put a woman behind a sign. A fade to black and dramatic music were the only things missing from this scripted season finale, which her ex and his new wife filmed in 4K, before acting like, "Oh no, this is all a big accident." Playing as Remy left in slow motion, countless of viral edits of that precise moment have already been made, with songs like Beyoncé's Irreplaceable, Rihanna's Unfaithful, and Neo's Take a Bow even used. Using It's All Coming Back to Me, now by Celine Dion, and to be honest, it worked too well. As a result, Papoose is now the most popular watching bet in the world and is being praised as the coldest man alive. Claressa has been dubbed Mrs. Heavyweight Energy. And Remy hasn't shared anything on social media, no tweets or Instagram. Stories, just radio, quiet, and paparazzi pictures of her leaving the afterparty by herself, her lips clenched into fists, and sunglasses at night. If you think this tale ends with silence, you're mistaken. You are mistaken because in Part 3, we dissect the consequences. Legal threats, boycotts, PR, cleanup, rumors of a diss track in the works, and the reasons why fans think Remy Ma may be preparing the ultimate retaliation on Beat. Simply betrayal. This was broadcast heartbreak, and the next part will be loud. Just when you thought this story couldn't get much messier, you imagined the drama was over and the curtains had closed. Yet Remy Ma said nothing at all, and that quiet reverberated more loudly than any diss track could have because, according to a close acquaintance, Remy's inner circle is leaking. The fans are guessing, and the streets are now gossiping. Remy supposedly went full scorched earth, unfollowed Claressa, muted Bet's page, and, according to a source who has a source, she has already reserved studio time in Atlanta with a producer who is known for one thing: revenge beats. There you heard that. Remy may be loading the video musically, but the consequences don't end there. Claressa and Papoose are busy grinning for the cameras like they're in a Bet Plus romantic comedy. Fans and insiders alike are now criticizing the entertainment institution. Trending hashtags include #BT, set her up, hashtag Remy deserved better, hashtag you guys really messed with her, and let's not forget the newest one making the charts, hashtag toxic broadcast, because viewers are upset not only about the heartache but also about the manipulation, the well-placed seats, the leaked audio, the zoom-ins at the worst time, and the way the show continued to focus on Remy's response. Let me get this straight. Let Papoose announce a brand new marriage when his ex-wife of the past is still alive. Fans are demanding an apology and a statement, and some even want heads to roll. One TikTok creator went viral and broke it down like this: "Your cameraman had her reaction on deck like he was recording Love and Hip Hop Civil War. In 15 years was 3 seats behind him." Bet's official account was completely silent with no tweets or explanations. Just a lot of "we'll be right back." Following this lull, their direct messages are blazing like a group chat with receipts, and Papoose and Claressa are acting as though they've won a couple of the year, because, guess what? A Bet post went live praising them as a power couple. No joke. The caption reads, "Yoyalty looks good on y'all." A boomerang of them clinking glasses backstage is also included. Ringloti, I had to wear noise-canceling headphones to finish the writing because the audacity is so loud. But that's not all, because of 900A. Claressa allegedly received a cease and desist letter the following morning. Email, and guess who it's from? You guessed it, Remy Ma's crew. Based on stolen documents that have been making the rounds on Reddit and dark corners of Twitter, the letter requests that a widely shared Claressa interview footage be removed. Seems to make fun of Remy by adding, "When people fumble, you pick up the bag, and run with it." Remy's side allegedly thinks it's slander, and the attorneys think it was a clear jab. It's billable, but according to some accounts, Remy has been working with a public relations team to recast the story, perhaps for her own documentary, called Behind Her Back, The Remy Ma Story. The tagline is, "She held it down till they held hands" in front of her streaming services are reportedly approaching Netflix, Zeus, and even Tubi, because, let's face it, we will all be watching. If Remy releases a documentary series featuring heartfelt admissions, diss tunes, and real backstage footage, however, The narrative is even becoming more complex because a screenshot of a group chat that was stolen from Claressa's camp claims that Remy knew this day was coming but didn't anticipate it being so widely known. What does it even imply? And was this planned? Tell her that this was a light launch to hard launch transition gone nuclear, and that Instagram astrologers are weighing in on the alignment of Mercury. TikToks are conducting in-depth investigations, and Twitter detectives are on it. The explosive exude energy in Brooklyn is caused by retrograde. And let's not even discuss the block captain rumors that are making a comeback. Yes, Rhee's rumored 2023 fling turn blur is once again in the mix because someone unearthed an old some people just love attention, but I prefer the truth. And coincidence fans don't believe it. Some even say that Easy liked the post announcing Papoose and Claressa's marriage before unliking it a few hours later. This is in spite of the strange caption on Easy's post. Now let's talk about the fans' reaction, which is nothing short of emotional warfare. One moment, they are applauding Claressa's boss move. The next, they are defending Rhee's heritage. And somewhere in between, Papoose's one fan tweeted, "This man held her down while she did time, only to air her out like laundry on award night," describing how his reputation has changed from that of a loyalty god to that of the true antagonist of the Bet film universe. But hey, that's what happens when the streets raise you and the stage exposes you. Another person remarked, "Papoose didn't just end a marriage, he ended public trust and love harshly. And now people are waiting, expecting the next punch, either physically or figuratively, as, let's not forget, Papoose is currently simply professionally unconcerned. Remy is a professional rapper, and Claressa is a professional fighter. This was not simply an award show controversy. It was a masterclass in how to turn real-life misery into headline gold. It was anguish televised, love weaponized, devotion monetized. And now the result of leaks and scandals has a deeper, more widespread truth. The entire world is waiting to see who can respond more forcefully, Remy with a song, Claressa with a clapback, or Papoose with a podcast, because, believe me, this is only a break in the story. And when it resumes, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to be in 4,000 with subtitles available on 5 platforms. Hosted by a messy person like Tamar Braxton, with roll credits that haven't been released yet. Retribution, redemption, rebranding, and more. In a world where the BET Awards become the only thing we know for certain is that cameras never lie, but hearts leak. So now that we've unpacked the turmoil, we've zoomed in on the tears, revisited the awkward looks, and practically during the BET Awards, we had the opportunity to inquire if this was the most brutal public blindsiding of the decade, or if it was simply another instance of poor timing and superior angles. After all, Remy Ma didn't clap, grin, or say anything. She stated, "This man really married another woman 3 rows in front of me. Now we want to hear from you." Speech balloon was this, which was more than a diss track, an interview, or a press release could have ever said. Papoose's last mic drop. Speech balloon. Did Bet purposefully set Remy up for the Heartbreak TV speech balloon? Is Claressa genuinely unconcerned? Or is she only acting out her part in the most chaotic 2025 rollout? The most important question of all is this. What would you have done if you were Remy Ma, sitting directly behind your ex and his new bride on national television? Leave a comment below. We're reading everything you see. Pointing down, hit the like button if you could relate to even a small portion of Re's suffering. If you're a drama junkie, hit subscribe. The tea and receipts never appear on loudspeaker for cable TV, and share this with someone who continues to think that award shows are elegant and uncomplicated, since obviously this is the first time they have seen Bet 2025. Gossip spreading atmosphere, where no secrets are kept, no camera viewpoint is overlooked when buried, and you're caught in the tea that always spills. The next controversy is already in the works.